Let's talk about asphodel. Asphodel is a type of flower that's found quite widely throughout many places, largely Europe and Africa, in places like Libya and the Mediterranean, in Greece and Corsica, and all of those areas. It is a flower that does quite well in more sandy coastal soils, and it's actually very important in many cultures, both in mythology and folklore and in actual uses. It is not toxic, unlike many other plants we talk about here, and most of the plant is in fact edible. The flowers have been used in salads and are described as having a slightly sweet taste. The young shoots are often roasted, as well as the roots, and historically the roots would be used as an additive to bread. It's quite an abundant and hardy and easy to grow plant, so is often a food source for especially poorer people in the area because it was very common and very easy to use. It also has a very distinct folklore and mythological connection to death and dying and the underworld. Probably the most well-known one is in Greek mythology of the Asphodel Meadows. Asphodel Meadows was in Hades, or the underworld, and it was just kind of a place where just okay people went, where the majority of the population after death would go. Opposed to the Elysium Fields, where the heroic and important and valiant people went after death, or Tartarus, where the very bad, evil people went, it was just a place that was okay. You're not being tortured, you're not in paradise, it's just kind of a large meadow filled with asphodel where nothing happens and everything was just kind of linear, flat, nothing was happening. And again, it's filled with this asphodel, which is described as being the food of the dead in that specific circumstance, where the dead souls of just okay people went and they just ate this plant and they kind of did nothing. Honestly, that kind of sucks to be your afterlife, where you weren't a bad person, but you weren't an amazing, valiant hero. You were just kind of stuck doing nothing at a very bland area for the rest of eternity. Hey, at least you're not being tortured. Asphodel, in addition to being associated with the underworld itself, was also associated with Persephone and was often planted on or near grave sites. Asphodel now has definitely fallen out of popularity and is not that well known anymore. It's pretty much never used as a food source anymore as far as I'm aware. And really, most people only know it due to its connection with Greek mythology. However, it is still quite a common plant, growing in multiple places, both naturally and as a garden or decorative plant, and it does still have uses, just isn't very commonly used anymore, and I think that's a shame because it's a very interesting plant.